I have a feeling it's going to be packed at the beaches today as all of you try to get a little relief from the heat. Just like you'd prepare a disaster kit for yourself and your family, make sure you don't forget about your furry friends and pack a disaster kit for them as well. We've got a lot of buildings with big glass windows. Common to see these boards covering those windows as an extra precaution, but what's really important here is these sandbags.
And the best part is when it feels like the holiday season, it doesn't normally feel like that here, but this weekend it does.
This weekend, and if you think it's a little chilly this weekend, just wait until next weekend because it is going to be downright cold. And on top of the wind and a significant amount of rain that we're seeing in Mount Pleasant right now, we're also continuing to see this inundation of water.
I've already heard people in the newsroom asking you, Chrissy, when are we getting that beautiful fall weather? Not yet, still too soon to know.
Yeah, you know, I think we're all ready for it. Unfortunately, I just can't promise it quite yet. What most people don't realize is storm surge is actually one of the deadliest parts of a hurricane. Extremely life-threatening situations going on across that area. Jenga, because don't forget we got to take care of our teens too. This isn't just about the young kids. Annie, I can't tell you how excited I was to walk outside this morning and actually say, oh, it's kind of chilly out here.
It was. It really was.
Would have expected syrup to be on the list of good things.
It's good news because I like syrup.
It's what we put that syrup on that becomes the trouble. The French toast, the pancakes.
The carb cakes.
I came all the way from Klamath Falls, Oregon, and I thought I was going to get away from this weather.
I apologize for that.
Okay, I know it's your fault.
Regardless of whether we get any sort of frozen precipitation on Thursday, it is going to be miserably cold the next couple of days.
And cold and rainy is not fun.
It's not a hurricane anymore because now it's a post-tropical system.
But still has hurricane force winds.
Yeah, at this point, it's basically just lost its tropical properties. And we kind of do a little bit of a roller coaster with our temperatures.
And you're still working on the bridge run forecast, huh?
Yeah, go American model go, because that's the one we want. But watch what happens. 4 o'clock tomorrow morning, we're seeing a wintry mix into North Florida. That's how far south these chilly temperatures dive.
And Christine, while you're just talking, I just keep thinking about fries.
I could tell you weren't paying attention. I could see her eyes glazed
You look like
over.
a big fry to me. Big McDonald's. That's the
nicest
red
thing
box.
anyone's ever said to me. What a gorgeous weekend it is going to be for us here in the Low Country, especially just in time for that first full weekend of fall. We see fall arrive today, the autumnal equinox, and the weather a little bit cooler, still not quite where we want to be for this time of the month, but we'll definitely take these lower dew points that we're going to be enjoying through the rest of the weekend. Plenty of sunshine on the way for your Saturday with high temperatures starting out this morning in the 60s and low 70s. We're still hanging out in the upper 70s as you look towards 10 o'clock this morning, 85 at noon, then up to 87 as you look towards 3 o'clock this afternoon. And again, a nice comfortable day with those dew points in the 60s as we head through the day ahead. Right now, the radar picture is nice and quiet, and we're going to see it that way all the way through the rest of the weekend. So our big story really is going to be these lower dew points and these slightly lower temperatures than what we've seen over the last several weeks. We've got 63 degrees currently in Kingstree and Walterboro as you step out the door. 65 currently for you in Moncks Corner. It's 67 in Somerville up towards Pawleys Island. You're clocking in at 70 degrees there in Mount Pleasant and 73 at the end of the pier on Folly Beach, the warm spot on the map this morning. Taking a look ahead to this afternoon, you're going to top out at 85 on Pawleys Island and in McClellanville. 90 for the afternoon high in Walterboro. 89 for the afternoon high for you in Kingstree, topping out at 87 in Goose Creek, 86 in Mount Pleasant today, 88 for the afternoon high in Somerville, and 85 from Edisto Beach up the coastline towards Georgetown there with an east wind at about 0 to 10 miles per hour. So that muggy meter in the comfortable category as we head through the day ahead. Tomorrow we're going to bring those dew points up into the upper 60s to low 70s. So that's going to bring it up just a little bit more to that slightly muggy to muggy category. But as we head into the upcoming week, we're going to see our dew points getting back into the low to even some spots mid 70s, especially as we head into the middle part of the week. So enjoy this weekend with that more comfortable like weather, because by the time we get into the middle part of the week, it's going to be back to feeling on the sticky side. Let's talk football because, of course, it is a beautiful Saturday, which means we've got a lot of, we're able to enjoy these football games here. So our tailgate forecast, Carolina headed to Vanderbilt today. It does look like it's going to be a pretty soggy one for those Gamecocks there with 70 temperatures in the mid 70s for both the pregame and the kickoff coming up at 4 o'clock this afternoon. Looking at Clemson headed to Atlanta to take on Georgia Tech. Beautiful forecast here. A little on the warm side with a high right around 90, but plenty of sunshine there in Atlanta. We have Elon coming here to Charleston Southern. That game kicks off at 6 o'clock this evening. Temperatures in the 80s with plenty of sunshine. A beautiful day for tailgating here in the Low Country. And the Citadel headed to Georgia as well, down at Mercer and Macon. Temperatures again going to be into the mid-90s, but plenty of sunshine. So not a bad looking tailgate forecast for most of those areas. Let's talk about what's going on here in the 7-day forecast. We take a look ahead to the next, or excuse me, the 10-day forecast. I keep forgetting sometimes that we still have a 10-day forecast, Macy. As we take a look at that 10-day forecast, you're going to see a beautiful weekend. Tomorrow we're still going to see plenty of sunshine. Just the outside chance we see a stray shower, but better chance is going to come in really overnight as we start to get a front moving into the area. Our temperatures tomorrow still into the mid-80s. Headed into the upcoming week, we get the better chance for rain coming in on Monday as a front moves through. And then we're going to keep an unsettled pattern going forward through the rest of the week. Scattered showers and thunderstorms. It does heat back up with highs in the mid-80s out at the beaches. Nearing 90 may see back inland for some areas. And again, like we were just talking about, those dew points are going to come back up. So we're not quite to that fall feel going forward completely, but certainly this weekend is a nice welcome break for us.
I've already heard people in the newsroom asking you, Chrissy, when are we getting that beautiful fall weather? Not yet. Still too soon to know.
Yeah, you know, I think we're all ready for it. Unfortunately, I just can't promise it quite yet.
It's South Carolina. We'll take the lower humidity. That's nice for now.
Exactly.
Hey, good morning, guys. And as you travel around King Street here in downtown Charleston, it's really common to see signs like this. Businesses closed for the protection of not just the owners, but also the employees. And on top of that, we've got a lot of buildings with big glass windows. Common to see these boards covering those windows as an extra precaution. But what's really important here is these sandbags. And we've seen a lot of these throughout the downtown area. And these are so important because of what Josh was just talking about, with that potential for the flooding as well as the potential for the storm surge as well. So 3 things we're taking into account when we talk about that elevated storm surge. We're in a higher than normal high tide cycle right now. We're expecting those onshore winds, those very persistent onshore winds during the day tomorrow, as well as the rain forecast Josh was just mentioning. Anywhere from 4 to 8 inches of rain, which on a normal day would cause issues, especially here in downtown Charleston. All 3 of those things combined means we've got that high concern for the storm surge issues in downtown and especially along the coastline. So taking a look at some of our storm surge forecasts for the coastal areas, just as this storm surge really just impacts the coastal areas. Down towards Edisto Beach, you're talking 3+ inches of inundation. So that word inundation means water above ground level. So this is a worst case scenario forecast, about 10% chance that we could exceed this forecast of 4 to 6 feet. And that's the official forecast from the National Weather Service. As you take a look a little further up the coastline into southern Charleston County, we're expecting upwards of 1 to possibly even up around 3 feet. We could again get into that 4 to 6 foot range, especially around places like Folly Beach, up towards the Isle of Palms and Wild Dunes, another area in Charleston County that tends to see some issues with higher than normal high tides as well as storm surge. A little bit further up the coastline into northern Charleston County and into Georgetown County, that forecast comes down quite a bit. We're still talking about the potential for upwards of a foot, and it's also important to note that some of our areas inland along our area rivers, especially the ones that rise and fall with the tides, could see some issues from storm surge as well. We're talking about the Cupper as well as the Ashley and the Edisto River. All could potentially see some of those issues with that increase in the storm surge.
Causing a bit of upset for some commuters and folks trying to get around.
Yeah, some reports of downed trees in Berkeley County.
Yeah, absolutely. So just in from the National Weather Service, reports of a tree down on Poplar Hill Road at Highway 176. That is in Berkeley County, just I believe out by the Cane Bay area as you head out towards Holly Hill. And then also reports of a tree down on the 2100 block of Schulerville Road. That's going to be southeast of Jamestown there in Berkeley County. So both of those areas try to avoid if you're going to be out and about in the next little while they get those areas cleaned up. And we do now have a new severe thunderstorm warning in Colleton County and parts of Dorchester County here. And this is going to go till 6:15 this evening. That earlier severe thunderstorm warning did expire at 5:15 for parts of Berkeley and Charleston County, which is good news. That means these storms right here are starting to die down a little bit. So let's take a closer look at what's going on here as far as our new severe thunderstorm warning into Colleton County as well as parts of Dorchester County. And
And as we zoom in a little bit and take a closer look here, this does include parts of Somerville as well as traveling down 17A out towards Cottageville. It includes the Knightsville area and again parts of Colleton County. And this is continuing to drop down to the southeast, moving at about 25 miles per hour or so. So as we zoom out and take a bigger picture look at this line, I do want to put into motion for you here where we expect some of these storms to go as they continue to drop down to the southeast. So we've got some of these thunderstorms right here in Georgetown County that are already about to slip off the coastline, and those are going to head out into the Atlantic. But as we draw this line here and move it down to the southeast at about 25 miles per hour or so, you can expect some of these thunderstorms to be rolling through Goose Creek at about 5:24 there, Ondaw about 5:30, just after 5:30, Hanahan 5:40 for you. As you look down towards the Whitehall Terrace area, North Charleston, you're getting closer towards 6 o'clock when these thunderstorms arrive into your area. And even if it's not severe, keep in mind that these thunderstorms have quite a bit of cloud to ground lightning associated with them as well. So you can see things fizzling out as they get a little bit closer to the coastline. By 7 o'clock, just a couple of isolated storms popping up there on our futurecast model. But we do have a little bit of moisture to work with down here around the Berkeley County, or down into the Beaufort County area, as well as lower Colleton County and into parts of Charleston County. And this would be the focus after the sun sets this evening. That would be the best chance to see a couple of isolated thunderstorms going forward. Then overnight, it does clear out and we start off on a dry note tomorrow. Now tomorrow afternoon, our in-house model is bringing in another round of some scattered showers and thunderstorms. And because it is going to be another hot one, we could see another round of maybe some strong to possibly severe thunderstorms. Now keep in mind when we're talking about severe today, we're talking about some gusty winds up around 60 miles per hour and the potential for some penny size to nickel size hail. It does die out as we head into Wednesday night, and then Thursday, Friday, we've got an elevated risk for some scattered showers and thunderstorms headed into the weekend as well. Temperatures right now anywhere from the upper 70s where we've got the rain that's already moved through Moncks Corner to the mid 80s as you look towards the Charleston County coastline, and your 10-day forecast is going to feature a rather unsettled pattern. Tomorrow looks to be the driest of the days. And again, the chances there that we could see a couple of scattered showers and thunderstorms mainly into the afternoon hours, and no day here looks like an all-day washout. I do want to emphasize that while it does look unsettled, it doesn't mean that it's going to rain on you all day long every day, but we do have that risk going forward. Of course, it is summer here in the Low Country, so we should be prepared for this no matter the day. The winds have been sustained, at least at tropical storm force, and we're getting these gusts that are definitely higher than those sustained winds. I'm not sure that I would call this all the way up to hurricane force at this point in time because I'm still able to stand relatively straight up and not necessarily being blown over. So I do still think it's below those tropical storm force wind gusts here in Mount Pleasant. But what we're getting is that combination of the wind and rain moving in right now. And you can hear the upper level winds humming at a good clip right now. So of course the upper level winds move a little bit faster than they do at the surface. At the surface you get some interference from the buildings, from the topography. But it's a pretty impressive situation happening in Mount Pleasant right here. And on top of the wind and a significant amount of rain that we're seeing in Mount Pleasant right now, we're also continuing to see this inundation of water. So the last time I checked in with you guys, the water was about at my ankle level, and now it's risen, I would say, at least 3 to 4 inches up, a little bit further up my boot at this point in time. Not quite to the top of my boots, but it is definitely continuing to rise at this point. We have a combination of that rainfall, but we're also close enough to the Charleston Harbor that we're getting that storm surge, that inundation of water. This evening actually looking like a pretty nice night if you want to head outside, grab dinner, maybe sit out on the porch. It's going to be a nice night to do that. So let's take a live look right now from our College of Charleston camera looking out towards the Holy City. And you can see we do have a few clouds. Majority of the cloud cover right now is along the coastline. Here's a look at your forecast for the rest of the evening. Coming up here at 7 o'clock, we're at 78 degrees, down to 73 at 9. We're at 64 as you wake up tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. and kick off your Monday. Again, mainly clear skies through the overnight hours. Temperatures right now are in the low 80s across the board. Not a bad night right now. 81 in Pawleys Island, Folly Beach, Moncks Corner. It is 82 currently in Somerville and Georgetown. 83 right now for you in Walterboro. We're headed for overnight lows in the 60s across the board. Even at the coastline, you're going to see overnight lows into the upper 60s. We could see a few upper 50s sprinkled in well inland and north of the lakes. Light and variable winds overnight tonight with mostly clear skies. Mainly sunny for your Monday. Should be a nice day. I think you can leave the umbrellas at home. home tomorrow. High of 88 in Walterboro, 83 in McClellanville tomorrow afternoon, 85 for you in Kingstree. We're looking at a high of 85 in Mount Pleasant and Monk's Corner, 82 at Edisto Beach and the Isle of Palms for your Monday. As we take a look at the satellite radar picture, it is a quiet night. Again, we do have some cloud cover moving in off the Atlantic at this point in time, but it's nothing that's going to inhibit any of your outdoor plans this evening. That stationary front finally starting to make a little bit of a move here. It's drifted back up to the north, although we do still have some showers offshore. What we're really paying attention to, though, as we head into the middle to later part of the week is Matthew. This is, of course, what everyone's talking about because we still don't know the specific impacts of Matthew on the southeast United States. What we have is a low pressure trough that will come into play as well as a high pressure ridge out over the Atlantic. These are going to be the two steering features, and which one wins out is where will help determine that track for Matthew. So at this point in time, once it gets into the Bahamas past about Wednesday, there's a lot of differentiation in the models at this point in time. Even with the track about 200 miles off the coastline, we could still see tropical storm force winds here in the low country. And that is because the tropical storm force winds even now extend out about 200 miles from the center of Matthew. As it continues to move up to the north, our in-house model does move it a little bit closer to the coastline. We still need to iron out whether or not that's actually going to verify at this point in time. So as you take a look at your 7-day forecast, what I can tell you is that once we get to Thursday on into the early part of the weekend, those are really just placeholders at this point in time. Mostly sunny skies on Monday. What we are going to start to see on Tuesday and Wednesday is the breeze pick up, regardless of how close Matthew tracks. That's because high pressure to our north will sandwich us between Matthew moving up from the south. That tight pressure gradient is what's going to kick up those winds. So expect winds up around 20 miles per hour by the time we get into late Tuesday, and that continues into Wednesday, Thursday.